Hello everyone, welcome back to JD Mods. Today we are going to be doing the second episode of the Lexus SC400 restoration. So here's the Lexus jacked up in the air. If you guys haven't seen the first episode, which I actually filmed just yesterday, I basically spent the whole day working on the interior. Don't know why I started on the interior, but it was kind of bothering me that it was all apart. So basically the interior is all together now. Everything pretty much works except for the passenger side window, which I need to get a motor for, but pretty much other than that, every single piece is there. Relatively clean interior, just have to vacuum and armor all. And also in the last episode I did the power steering, so now this car has fully working power steering. And in today's video we are going to be working on the brakes and exhaust. So I did mention this in the last video, but if you're new to the channel or the series, basically these are all the brake components that I found in the trunk of the car. We have like literally 6 rotors. We got 4 old ones and 2 new ones. We've got a whole bunch of miscellaneous brake pads like these shoes. We got a whole bunch of brake pads in this pile here. We have 2 front calipers, more new brake pads just in this box and stuff. So what I'm going to do first is give you guys a walk around the car, show you what I'm dealing with before I get to work. So starting with the driver's side front caliper, it seems like there is a relatively new rotor on here. It's just a little rusty, of course. And the caliper looks like they have an older, newer, although I could be wrong, they could have just painted the outer part. But yeah, it looks like it's all there. The brake line looks to be even attached. The flex line back here looks to be attached. So I'm going to say this side looks almost complete. Going over to the passenger front brake, there's actually a light over here, so that'll make it a little easier to see. So it looks like, again, another new rotor that'll get broken in once I get the brakes all set up. Looks like it has fairly new brake pads. They're pretty thick, but we're missing the outside of the caliper with the pistons in it, and obviously the brake line is just chilling over there. Now moving on to the back. A little bit of a different situation back here. This is literally as I found it after taking off the tires. So back here we're missing the rotor, the shoes, all the pads, and all I found is a single piston rear caliper kind of zip tied to the strut, which is good because it's there. Hopefully it's in decent condition. I wish I had a bit of hardware, but I don't think I do, so I'm going to have to try and figure that out in a little bit. But the caliper is there, which is good, and I saw some brake shoes in that pile of parts over there. And lastly, we have the rear driver, which again, this one looks different because it has a heat shield, but I'm not too worried that the other side's missing it right now. But yeah, we're missing the rotor as well, and same idea, the caliper we have, which actually this time includes the bracket as well, and even some pads. Would you look at that? Pretty much a fully assembled caliper, so we just got to do the rotor. Oh, this one even has hardware. How nice. So this side looks like it just needs the rotor, the shoes for the e-brake, and then we can put everything together. So let me go ahead and get started. Of course, before doing any driving in this car or any used car you'll ever buy, make sure to take a look at all the suspension, because this is the bolt that holds on your strut to your lower hub assembly. And basically the bolt is almost out of it, and there's no nut on the other side, so I'm not quite sure what happened there. I found a lot of quirks like that on this car, like they were halfway taking it apart before they sold it. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure not only that, but also all the ball joints are in good condition before taking it on any road tests. So here's a little update. Have the front left caliper as it was, it's all perfect and good, and then the front right passenger side caliper is on there perfectly ready to bleed. We just ran into a problem with the rear calipers. They're all on there and good, except for the bleed screw was so rusty it snapped off. So what I'm going to do is I started on the driver side rear already. Basically what I did was drilled out the old fitting. Now I have to go to Canadian Tire to grab some new bleed screw fittings. Have all new pads and rotors on the car, and I even wire brushed and then trim cladded some subframe and suspension components to make it a little bit more resistant to rust and also look a little nicer. And now what I'm about to do is work on the exhaust. I already did this side here real quick. Let me get a flashlight to show you what I'm doing. So it used to be hanging down because the grommet was bad, but I just put a bolt through the grommet, and so this side's holding up nicely. Except see the bracket that connects to the muffler? We are missing that on this side over here. So what I'm doing instead is welding my own support to the subframe, and then we're going to be welding it onto the top of the tailpipe. And then from the front, I'll show you what it looks like now, so I can show you afterwards. So the left side's correct, and the right side obviously is way too low. Now I'm going to go ahead and do some welding and then show you guys the final product. So there's the welding job. It's nothing super fancy or good, but basically just a rod that goes through the frame, through the rubber grommet, and onto the top of the exhaust pipe. Probably not a permanent solution since these aren't the tips I want to run in the future, but as you can see, it's in good condition. Well, since it's Sunday and the stores are closed, I'm not able to finish the rear calipers and bleed the brakes, but that's kind of a boring topic for a YouTube video, so I'm going to probably end today's YouTube video here. And the third series in the SC fix-up video is going to be body, including sanding and fixing the rust on the rear quarter panel is the worst quarter panel. The trunk, I'm going to remove the tape and show you guys how bad this hole in the trunk is. Oh, let's grab that before I forget. Then we have a gas cap that was painted black, the spray paint on the trunk to fix, and the front fender, some rust right there, and chipping paint on the front bumper. Obviously no rust because it's plastic. And then we're going to also polish out the front headlights and make it all beautiful, and maybe even source a new set of tires. So if you want to see that episode, please be sure to subscribe. As always, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.